Oh, hey there. So this video goes over the recent test we had for Math C on rational numbers. And before you guys started the test, of course, there was this lovely letter that I wrote to you. I'm not going to go through the letter here except to remind you there were 3 details that I asked you to promise to yourself earlier in the week. One of those was to carefully read in order to understand the problem. Because what I don't want you to do is to not rush, but pay close attention to your own work. So are you aware of what you're writing and what it means what you're writing? And then when you are unclear on something, to write down a specific question to help clarify your thinking. Okay, so we're going to read carefully. We're not going to rush. We're going to clarify thoughts by writing questions, just like I ask you to do with everything, really. Okay, so here were the directions. Write the letter for the correct answer in the blank at the right of each question. So the multiple choice questions were worth a point each because you didn't have to show any work, where the questions 12 through 16, where you did have to show work, were worth 3 points each for a maximum possible of 25. Okay, first question. What is the value of the expression -4 to the third power? Well, that's the same thing as writing -4 times -4 times -4. And so I could see right away that the answer is going to be negative, right? Because a negative times a negative is a positive, times another negative is negative. So right away you can see that C and D can't be possibly correct. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4, 64. So -64A was correct answer. Number 2, using exponents. What is the simplified form of the expression 12x to the 5th over 6x squared? Well, look at this. This is we're dividing, and we have the same base in x. So we're going to use the dividing same base rule. I'm going to keep in mind that I'm going to deal with the coefficients of each term separately. So 12 divided by 6, that's going to be 2. And x to the 5th divided by x to the 2nd, well, that's x to the 5 minus 2. There's our same base rule. 2x to the third power, and that was response I. Number 3, using exponents. What is the simplified form of the expression? So in parentheses, I have -3x to the 4th, y to the 2nd, and then that's closed, and all this inside is raised to the 2nd power. So I have powers raised to a power, which we call the power rule. What you have is an exponent raised to another exponent. And if you remember, the rule there is when you multiply your exponents in this case. So what do I have here? I have -3 squared. So I should make sure I get that right. I have -3 squared. I have x to the 4th times 2, and y squared times 2. Well, that's going to leave me a 9. 4 times 2 is x to the 8th, and 2 times 2, y to the 4th. So the correct answer here was D. Remember, because you have 2 -3s. -3 times -3 is +9. Number 4, how is the expression 10 to the -5 written using a positive exponent? Oh, here's our negative exponent rule, which remember the way that worked is anything to a negative power, so a to the -n, is going to be equal to 1 over a to the positive n. And so in this case, this will become 1 over 10, that's my base, to the positive 5th. Correct answer is G. Number 5, let's see. The Statue of Liberty weighs 450,000 pounds. Let's zoom in here a little more. Right, what is this number written in scientific notation? So we're just going from standard form to scientific notation. So here's 450,000, and when we don't have a decimal point written, we understand it's to the far right. So I need to get it all the way over here, so I'm going to move it once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. So my answer is going to be 4.5 times 10 to the 5th power, which is response D. Number 6, what is the value of the expression the square root of 144 over the square root of 100? Well, those are perfect squares, right? So the square root of 144 will be 12. The square root of 100 will be 10, so I have 12 over 10, which can be simplified, right? Because I can divide 12 by 2 and 10 by 2. Looks like the answer is going to be 6 over 5, and that was response I. Okay, to the nearest whole, what is the best estimate for the root of 85? So here's the square root of 85. So I want to, what perfect squares are both below and above 85? Well, square root of 81 is 9. The next perfect square is 100. Square root of 100 is 10. And you can see 85 is closer. The square root of 85 is going to be closer to the square root of 81. So it's going to be closer to 9, the nearest whole. Response A. Number 8. Which of the following is the equivalent to the quantity 2x to the third y squared, all raised to the fourth power? So once again, we have the power rule. So we're going to multiply all of our exponents. The 2 here, remember, is 2 to the first power. So you literally have 2 to the 4 times 1. But that's going to leave you a 16x to the 12th, y to the 8th, response H. There it is, right? And number 9. Which of the following is equivalent to 0.75 repeated? So this, remember, this means 0.757575 dot dot dot. And we know that any repeated decimal can be written as a rational number, as a fraction. And the way we went about doing it is we assigned the number a variable. So there it is, n equals 0.757575. Then what we did is we multiplied both sides by 100. So 100 times n is 100n. Then when we multiply this by 100, that just shifts the decimal point over 2. And so I have 75.7575, and so on. Now we've written it this way. Let me move it up here. When we look at everything to the right of the decimal, all this stuff when we go to subtract, so I'm going to subtract n equals 0.757575 from 100n equals 75.757575. Well, all these things here will cancel each other out. So this part will cancel each other out. And on the left side of the equal sign, I have 100n minus 1n is 99n. On the right side, I'm left with 75 minus 0, 75. So I have this one-step equation here. 99n equals 75. Well, since I'm multiplying the variable by 99, I'm going to have to divide the variable by 99, both sides. So I'm left with, on the left side, 99 divided by 99 is 1. 1 times n is n. On the left side, I have on the right side, I have 75 over 99. And I can divide both of those by 3. So I'm left with 25 over 33. And lo and behold, 25 over 3. Correct answer C. I'm going to stop the video here. We'll pick up another video for the other side.